The book that I have read recently is called The Diary of Anne Frank. The title is The Diary of Anne Frank, and her author is Anne Frank. The story takes place in a building located in Amsterdam, where Anne's father worked. Then, this building will have the name of Secret Annex. The characters are Mrs. and Mr. Frank, Anne Frank, her sister Margot Frank, the Van Damme family, which is made up of Mrs. and Mr. Van Damme, and their son Peter Van Damme. Finally, there are Mr. Dussel, Mr. Clayman, Mr. Kugler, Miep, and Bep. Anne Frank's diary is a real diary where she wrote what happened in her life. Anna turned 13 on July 12, 1942 and received a very special gift, a diary. Anna wanted to be a writer since she was a child, so she decides to imagine that the diary is her best friend. She will call it Kitty. But the circumstances are many. Anne is a Jewish girl, daughter of German merchants. The Frank family arrived in Amsterdam running away to Nazis, but after their arrival, Germany invaded Holland and they had to hide in the secret annex. The businessman Kugler and his assistant Miep prepare a hiding place in the rooms above their place of business and arrange for the Franks and another family, the Van Dammes, to stay there. Later on, they are joined by the dentist Dussel. Together, they try to avoid detention while hoping for Holland to be liberated by the Allies. Anne lives hidden with her family and the Van Pils family. As time goes, there are discussions between them, whether it is about food or the use of the bathroom service. Anne was a really happy and cheerful person, even though she and her family were in an awful situation. Anne enjoyed writing and describing others. She was a typical teenage girl and she didn't always understand how difficult life was for her mother and the other adults around her. She commented on the people who shared their hiding space. Sometimes this wasn't very nice, but it shows how everybody's life was challenging because they had to be quiet and not bring attention to themselves. Also, Anne falls in love with Peter Van Pil and for the first time experiences love. A few months before being discovered, Anne had the idea of publishing her story as a book after the war. However, Anne and her family were arrested by the Gestapo on August 4, 1944. A month later, the whole family was transferred to the Auschwitz concentration camp, and Margot, Edith Frank, her mother, the Van Pils family, and Dussel died. Only Anna Odo's father survived. Yes, I really enjoyed reading this book. It was a beautiful experience for me. Also, Anna describes her deepest feelings, and the teaching she gives us is that we have to live every day and understand that despite of difficult situation, we have to be ourselves and we have to be brave to achieve our dreams. Also, I read this book in times of quarantine, so I feel almost identified, but I imagine the situation of Anna and it was so sad.